I was mistaken for the cleaning lady at my own company's board meeting. Their faces when I took the CEO seat were priceless. When I started my tech company 7 years ago, I worked out of my garage with nothing but student debt and a prototype. Last week, I closed a $50 million funding round, but apparently my appearance still doesn't scream CEO to some people. I was running late to our first board meeting with the new investors. My car had a flat tire. It was pouring rain and I'd spilled coffee on my white blouse. By the time I rushed into our headquarters, I looked like a complete disaster. As I hurried into the conference room to set up my presentation before everyone arrived, I noticed 2 men in expensive suits already seated. They were early part of the new venture capital partners who just invested millions in my company. The cleaning service really needs to come after hours, the older one said without looking up from his phone. We're about to have an important meeting. The younger one glanced at me and added, while you were here, could you bring in some coffee? Black for me, cream, and 2 sugars for my partner. I stood there dripping rainwater onto our expensive carpet, clutching my laptop bag. I was wearing jeans and a stained blouse, not my usual meeting attire, but I'd planned to change in my office before they arrived. For a split second, I considered correcting them. Instead, I smiled and said, of course, gentlemen, coming right up. I walked out, went straight to my office, and changed into the spare outfit I keep there, par in a tailored black suit and heels. I fixed my makeup, pulled my hair back, and had my assistant bring in a coffee service. 10 minutes later, I walked back into the boardroom, now filled with all 8 board members plus the 2 investors. My COO was stalling, explaining I'd be there any minute. Sorry I am late, gentlemen, I announced, walking to the head of the table. Rapidus was terrible. The younger investor looked confused. Weren't you just— I smiled directly at him as I took my seat. I believe you take your coffee black, right? And cream with 2 sugars for your partner. I made sure it was prepared exactly as requested. The color drained from both their faces as my koala tried to hide his smile. For those who haven't met in person yet, I am Alexandra Chen, founder and CEO. I continued smoothly, opening my presentation. Before we discuss the funding allocation, I'd like to address our company culture at Tough Fusion. We believe every role is valuable, from our cleaning staff to our executives. We judge people by their contributions, not their appearances. The meeting proceeded professionally, but those 2 investors couldn't quite look me in the eye. Afterward, the older one approached me privately to apologize, explaining they'd been caught off guard. No need to apologize, I told him, but remember this feeling the next time you make assumptions about someone based on how they look. In tech, the person you dismiss might be the one whose signature you need. The younger investor sent an elaborate gift basket the next day with a handwritten apology. I had it delivered to our actual cleaning staff with a note thanking them for their essential work. My company just hit unicorn status last month, and those same investors now bring potential partners to meet the most impressive CEO in their portfolio. They never mention our first meeting, but I notice they're unfailingly polite to every person they encounter in our building. Sometimes the best way to change perspectives isn't through confrontation, but by letting people realize their own mistakes. And yes, I still occasionally bring coffee to meetings, but now everyone knows it's because I want to, not because it's expected. If you want to hear what happened when they tried to mansplain my own technology to me later that day, share this video.